Why would somebody choose Benalmádena as their location to live? Well, today we're diving right into that. I'm joined by the wonderful Hannii Martini. Hanni's back with us today to discuss that question. Hanni has recently made the big move herself from the beautiful Málaga Centro to an area close to Benalmádena called Higuerón. And we want to dive into the early days of her new life here in the Benalmádena area and discuss what it's been like. Welcome back, Hanni.
Thank you. Thanks for having me back.
So, some of our listeners and followers today watching may not actually know you. So, before we dive into the topic in question, tell everybody a little bit about you.
Well, I am Hanni. I was born in Devon in the UK a few years ago, and about 11 years ago moved to the Costa del Sol. I spent a couple of years living right out in the countryside in the mountains, and then the majority of the time that I've been here, I've lived in Malaga, historic centre, right in all the action in the city, until about a month ago when I decided to make the move out to the Costa.
And I'm so curious to dive into that with you. Now, we do cover Hanni's journey to Spain and her inspiration behind her move and so much more in another video, which we will link you to. So definitely have a watch of that. First and foremost, before we dive into what you're loving about your new home, how are your sanity levels?
Do you know what? They're all right. They're all right now. There was a very hairy week there. The move happened much quicker than we thought it was going to happen. We dive in with both feet. It's typical of me, actually. So it was a week of intense stress. But after that, it's been fine, and I feel very relaxed now.
You strike me as somebody that can handle a hairy week.
Well, I'm still here. I'm still standing, and I've had a lot of hairy weeks in my life. So.
Amazing. So tell everybody about your move, where you were before, where you are now.
So previously I was in the historic centre of Malaga. I was there for nearly 10 years, living in a very rickety old attic from the 1800s, very beautiful, wooden, right up in the eaves, gorgeous terrace overlooking, one of the little streets in Malaga. And absolutely loved it. And I really loved city life. I loved having everything on my doorstep, being able to walk down to the market every day to buy my own food and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I'm digressing. That's where I was. And now I am in an area called Higuerón, which is between Benalmádena and Fuengirola.
Okay, so tell, I guess, the people watching about Higuerón.
Okay. Higuerón is a development that has been purpose-built as a community. It's very, very new. The houses started going up maybe 5 or 6 years ago. It's grown hugely it's centered around a hotel. So it's a big 5-star resort with amazing sports facilities, a spa. And that was there were previously some houses there, but they've built up these communities around that hotel. So it's very purpose-built. It's very residential, but for me, it was the perfect location. It has all the amenities that I was looking for that are within walking distance, lots also within driving distance, and it was something really key for me on the Cercanías line. So it has that train that goes directly into Malaga city centre via the airport, and that was really important to me as well.
Amazing. Like for me, I love what it has to offer. I totally agree with you. The amenities, the facilities, what it gives you in terms of the lifestyle that you can live up there. It's a great location. So I'm delighted you're settling in well.
Thank
you.
I'm
following you. I've been following your move on Instagram, and your new home looks beautiful. So congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a change from my rickety old apartment in Malaga to a 3-year-old luxury property. Very, very different.
It looks gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm adapting.
Nice. I think that it is easy to adapt to life in such a beautiful home.
It's very easy to adapt to a life in this area for sure, in Higuerón and in that particular apartment, and just generally on the Costa.
Amazing. Now to the controversial stuff. You ready? So Benalmádena doesn't always get the best reputation when it is mentioned as a destination that people want to either relocate to or buy a second home in. And you've made the move from the beautiful centre of Malaga, living in the historic area, to an area, next to Benalmádena. Some would say, Why did you do that? And I would imagine your followers on Instagram had a bit of a reaction to that.
A lot of people have said, why would you do that? And actually, yeah, the followers on Instagram, I think generally most people are just loving following the journey and seeing what's
Sure.
going on. But you know, when you're in the public eye, for want of a better expression, people, and a lot of people follow me because I am living a life that they dream of.
Of course.
Same as you know, people have a dream of moving to Spain, or love Spain as a destination for their holidays, and so they follow along on the ride. And if their dream is to move to Malaga city centre, and then I kick their dream and say I'm over this and I'm moving somewhere else, you know, it turns out, I didn't know this before I did it, turns out it upsets some people. But anyway,
Okay.
generally the very, very vast majority of people are just like, it's so exciting to see you doing something different and see where you're moving to. Benalmádena, I'm not going to lie, I definitely had a lot of judgment around Benalmádena and Fuengirola, this whole stretch of the coast, and I definitely felt like a superior immigrant because I lived in the city centre of Malaga than someone who lives down on the coast.
A posh immigrant.
I am not going to lie about that, but I will also be the first to admit that I was wrong. And when we started to explore moving out of the city, my partner works down on this side of the city, and so even though we also love the area east of Malaga, very, very different, and not going to get a luxury development like the Higuerón on the other side, but it was out of the question anyway. So we knew that if we were going to come out of the city, then we wanted to be on the coast, we wanted to be on that train line, and so, you know, there was this stretch to look at.
Yeah.
And yeah, my initial thought was absolutely no way is it going to be Benalmádena Fuengirola, because I think of Weatherspoons, I think of, you know, Kiss Me Quick, Irish pubs, and thought, not anymore, I don't. I stand corrected. And so it was really a learning curve for me to get over myself and get over my stigma and come out here and explore. And once I started exploring, I was like, this area has so much to offer.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, Benalmádena, I love it. And we've just like touched in on Arroyo de la Miel last week, and I walked in and I was like, oh, it feels like a proper
So
little
cute.
pueblo. Yeah, it's really, really nice. There's so much variety. There's so much, and you know, of course, there's lots and lots of people living here, immigrants living here, but and expats. But it's it gives it diversity, and I really don't buy into the whole story that the Costa del Sol has lost its essence because of immigration. Because I just don't think it has. I think there's still gorgeous pockets. We can get 2 stops on the Cercanías line into Los Boliches, which is like this end of Fuengirola. And again, I just had this idea of what that would be like. And I went down there and there's like a little market. There's the grocers, there's the florist, there's, you know, I went into Post a Parcel in one of the shops and the guy was so helpful and it felt like a pueblo. It was really, really nice.
So your eyes have been opened.
My eyes have been well and truly
You're
opened, and
converted.
I'm loving it. Yeah.
So there you have it. So if Hannii has embraced life in Benalmádena, you can too. Thank you for stopping by.